Where is Chris? Where's Chris? Where's Chris?
Hello.
For episode 73 of the
Matt.
Dream Warriors. Here's Matt calls Chris likes to be considerate while drinking at the Dream Warriors table.
If we're gonna be drinking, might as well be courteous.
If we're drinking and podcasting, this is the way to be. So, Dream Warriors 73. Let's can we put these mics on? Yeah, it's gonna get everything going.
Are we recording?
We've been recording. I think I have one of my new favorite intros already in order. Dream Warriors 73. Sitting down with Chris. So Chris and I, we were supposed to record yesterday. I somewhat took a personal day. This is Monday, by the way. This is President's Day.
Happy President's Day.
February 19th, 2018. Timestamp 6:25 p.m. Let me just put my phone on the silent.
Yes.
Because my phone goes a little YOLO, goes a little ham, hard as a mahaka. Oh, good move. Chris just threw his phone. No, thank you for doing that. Because
I threw it to the couch and it lands on the floor.
Because whenever I do this with Mark, he's constantly looking at his phone because he's just swiping on Tinder the entire time.
I got all day to look at the phone. I don't need to do it during that.
Yeah, Mark's actually. I tried to talk to him about this a few times. Mark's really bad with his phone. Like he's just
over the top.
He gets him. What happens with him is what they call screen sucking, where the screen just like sucks him in. Yeah. And he just like stares at it, and he's like he's like a shower. He'll show you things. I'm just like, yeah. Like I guess that's a funny meme. Like I don't really care. Yeah. Some of the memes are funny, but like most of the time they're just like, haha. Like it's like a magician showing you a trick. You're like, oh, that's cool. Like
it's addictive, that stuff, that the screens and all. There's a good book called Glow Kids. Have you ever read that?
No, but I love the title.
It's basically about this new generation being brought up in front of the screens and raised by iPads, televisions, movie screens, and this addiction, because it changes the way your brain functions, the way your addictive behavior with it and all.
I think it messes with your synapses, and I think it chips away at your confidence because you're constantly monitoring what other people are doing that you wish you were doing.
Yeah,
I think so. It chips away at confidence and self-esteem.
It is a statistic that more depressed people go on Facebook. I don't know where I got this stat from,
something. It doesn't matter. It sounds like it's true. It sounds like it, but at the same time, though, I'm all for social media. I'm all for creating a social media presence and interacting and finding new people like you to interact with. I'm more hopeful when it comes to social media. I don't like it when people have social media accounts that are inactive. I've said this before. Yeah, because otherwise otherwise you're just creeping, watching people, and like it's even worse.
It is.
So I always encourage people to build and maintain a social media presence, even if it's one for like family. Like if you have 50 friends on Facebook and they're all family and extended family and friends, then like be the best of those 50. That like portrays their life and shows it off and interacts with people. Like be the best of that 50.
Yeah.
But the rabbit hole for that goes so much. But anyway,
it does. Yeah.
But Mark's bad. I've been trying to rehab him a little bit, and he'll deny it. He'll be like,
really?
He'll be like, I'm fine. He's like, you're the first. Because he always goes to, you're the first person to tell me this. Like, and I'm like, yeah, that's because I care. And other people, I tell them this all the time.
Because everyone else placates you, like,
I was like
everybody else in the world.
Most people don't even want you around. Like they're not going to criticize you. Trust me, they don't want you here. Like everyone wants you. No, that's true.
Sorry, Mark.
So Sitting Down with Chris. Chris, this is your third Dream Warriors episode.
Yes. So and this is what 73 you said, right?
We're 73. So let's go through your numbers. You are
68,
68, and 70.
Yep.
Are you upset that you missed 69?
I am.
You were waiting for that. Speaking of 69,
I what's it called? Straddled them. You know what I mean? 68 and 70. Straddled that.
Speaking of 69s, I had like a good one. It's different when it's like you kind of are like it's like like doing this now, like doing this now, but then it's like, yo,
really,
like we're doing it, like we're all involved. Everyone in earshot is involved. You know, we're all a part of this party.
Yeah, we're all together now.
Chris and I have wonderful background, wonderful stories. We've seen each other have sex in the same room more than once.
More than once.
More than once.
More than once, but more.
We've heard each other have sex more than once.
More than once.
So part of and we were discussing this in the dream.
We've been in fights together.
Yeah, we've been in fights together. Yeah, we see. Look, this is a part of my recipe, and I think my recipe becomes my friends' recipes, and this is how we bond and get euphoric and have like somewhat of a brotherhood. And so part of my recipe is that you fight, you drink, you eat, you get some ladies, you do some dirty time, and
a little bit of the action.
You be creative and you be productive, and you go for as hard as you can, for as long as you can, and if you break, but you get back up and rinse and repeat. Because logically speaking and believably speaking, it's not like that's sustainable. But you bring it, and every time you move that chain or move that needle a little bit in one direction, you can go further the next time.
It's the truth, yeah.
And this is...
It's like exercise, like anything else. Yeah. Like eating competitions, anything.
Right.
You look at,
like
if you look at life
every
that
year,
way.
Yeah, every year the Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge goes up. There's more people eating more hot dogs every year on the Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge. Every Summer Olympics, there's a quicker 100-yard dash. Okay? So, I mean, like, this is how we're conditioned. This is... If you believe in intelligent design, this is how we were designed to act. This is how we were designed to be.
Yeah. We're supposed to break barriers. We're supposed to keep moving
endlessly
forward and keep evolving.
Yeah, so Chris and I we've been through a lot of this barrier. So some of Dream Warriors, we were discussing this in like the green room, so to speak, lack of a better term, is, my copier now, my printer copier is cleaning itself. You hear it?
Perfect timing. I was wondering what it was.
Yeah, but
it sounded like a fax machine.
And usually that gets Dallas, like whoever he is, he'll run right to it, and he just like stares at it. And I don't know where he is right now. He could be. It's
a robot.
Dallas is like, what is that? But yeah, so so part of Dream Warriors, as Chris and I were already breaking down, is that look, there's focus episodes on every one of my contributors on how we know each other, highlighting the relationships, because like that is a huge part of Dream Warriors. Like the friendships and the bonds that are a part of this podcast. And it sucks sometimes because of the podcast too. There's a swinging axe and there's casualties, and the other Mark and Norm kind of somewhat are two of those casualties.
Yeah.
And Norm is different than Mark. I'm on like fine terms with Norm. Like we came to an agreement that him doing the podcast at all was it was
straining on
his heart wasn't in it. He wanted it to be like more lazy and fun.
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite of that. Like I want a little bit of a structure. Like I want, like even here, like you and I just watched the movie for the next episode for 74. We good time with Robert Pattinson, a movie that you'll hear more about later. Dream Warrior-ites. Dream Warrior.
Yeah,
I know it's like technically the Dream Warriors are the Dream Warriors, but I feel like I have to give them a name.
Warriorites.
So they're the Dream Warrior-ites. But anyway, so for fellow Dream Warriors out there, you have to wait for episode 74. Because this episode, Chris and I are just, I don't know, we're just going to hang out and talk about.
Dive into who we are. Who are we?
Who is Chris? Everybody wants to know. Who is this transgender individual you allowed onto your show?
Well, but before we get to that, though, tease the audience a little bit. You said you were on good terms with Norm, alluding to the fact that you're not on good terms with the other Mark.
Yeah,
Mark with a C, but the other Mark.
Yeah, the other Mark. So like, I kind of spoke about this. I'll get into it again because who loves talking about painful things. I love talking about painful things.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize where we were going.
No, it's nothing crazy. So when Thor Ragnarok was coming out, Mark and I were gearing up. So post October, going into early November, we were gearing up to do maybe like a sequence of Thor episodes around Ragnarok. And this the whole idea for this was that Mark has read every single Thor comic ever. He's read them all.
Really?
And he's done this with more than one comic book character or franchise, however you want to look at it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's
in its own category. But he would be the guy to talk to about this and to bring us up to speed on what they were cherry picking, how well some of it was used, and to really give I thought probably the best perspective on that movie ever recorded, ever. And this sounds like it's crazy.
Yeah, it does sound.
But I 100% believe it because by now, because we're in February and the movie came out in November, I have listened to almost all the major commentary about Thor Ragnarok and some of the outlier commentary and thoughts. Yeah, I believe Mark would have added so much more. He would have nuanced it. He would have been able to educate people on what really was happening on screen compared to and translation from the comic on a deep level because he is that type of wealth of knowledge. And Mark always had a seat at Dream Warriors because of that. And Mark is the guy that originally gave me the idea and the inspiration to do a podcast. Eventually, because Mark and I when him and I became friends, we talked about it because we were having these really enlightening conversations, and it took years. It took 5, 6, maybe 7 years for it to happen. And when it was finally happening with Norm, I was Mark, I'm I'm kind of doing it. It's on iTunes already. I have it on Google Play. I'm finding other networks for it to go on. It's on SoundCloud. I figured out all these things. I have all the equipment now. This is what we talked about, dude. I'm you just
you're
come,
late to the game.
Just come here, but just come here and do it. And that's the only thing you gotta do. So around Thor, there was a little bit of a back and forth, and then Thanksgiving hit. So I shot him a happy Thanksgiving message, and no response. And I did that for maybe 2 weeks straight. Once a day I was texting him Happy Thanksgiving. Okay?
I love this guy.
Well, you got
just the eggplant emoji.
Yeah,
or with me it was Kern's is 6969.
Yeah, Kern's always got to say. Yeah, look, I'm very in jest. I'm very humorous. I know sometimes I'm annoying and
over the top sometimes, but that's what makes it fun.
But that does what makes it fun, and none of it's serious. Anyone that knows me knows it's not really serious.
It's all good-hearted.
It's just
fun.
me. So what he did was the Infinity War trailer hit, the first official U.S. release Infinity War trailer. At that point, there was a preview at the end of the Civil War DVD, and I think the Doctor Strange one had this loose preview, and then there was the Disney convention one.
Yeah.
That leaked, but that was not a official release. So the first official. So he sends me the link of that during the day. Okay.
After.
So he doesn't respond to any of the Thanksgivings. Okay. Sends me that, and by this point, I already did a Dallas reacts to the Infinity War trailer video that I put up on YouTube. Okay, so like by the time he even sends that to me, like I've done like a crap load of work for the YouTube venture. Okay, because the more traction we get on YouTube, it can trickle into Dream Warriors. Like this is where like you have like a Hydra, you have like a multi-headed beast. So he like sends me this, and I kind of like was annoyed at that point because I'm like, dude, I know you saw like you can't address them. If he was like bro to bro, like mano y mano, if he was like, it's like I've been so busy because he's got like 5 kids or whatever. Like,
does he have that many?
Well, he's got twin daughters.
I knew he had 2.
Yeah, and then like his girlfriend has like a kid. And they all live together. So it's not 5; it's like 3. But
that's it's 5.
It's a gaggle. Yeah. Well, the funniest thing though is that he did nothing but talk trash about her and the kid to me.
Really?
A lot, to where like we had like real deep conversations where I was like, look, dude, like I kind of was like, this is what I would do if I was in your situation. This is how I would, like get someone to leave. Like not being devious, but kind of just being like
taking a step back.
like drawing a line in the sand, which I feel like he never does, and he's very bad when he does it. But the kid though, which I want to hang out with this kid because like her son is like kind of like a little shit to him.
Oh really?
And he's not an alpha.
Oh,
so the kid just like I just envision it like the kids from Talladega Nights, to where like they throw the grandfather's war medals like over the bridge. I just envision this kid. He knows Mark's like every tick, and he just like pounds away at it until Mark snaps.
Really?
So what happened was like that Mark kicked out his girlfriend's parents. He kicked them all out during a birthday party that they had at their place for the kid, for the boy.
Wait, so he kicked out her parents?
He kicked out her parents.
Oh, wait,
because
what?
He didn't like how they were talking to the kid. So he was
so his kid or their kid?
Her kid.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was trying to stand up for it, and he kicked them out. And he called me that night, and I talked to him for like an hour. Like just being a friend to him.
Yeah.
Being okay. And I could tell by his voice and where his mind was that if he doesn't get out now, it's only going to get worse. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So at this point, I talked to him 2 other times about that, like the next day and the second day. After the second time we talked about it, I was on Spring Garden. I was on Fairmount. Mm-hmm. Okay, you want irony. I'm sitting on the wall on Fairmount talking to him during the day. Again, another like 30, 40-minute conversation. Okay? Course, the wall I'm sitting on is the Penn State Penitentiary wall. So the penitentiary's behind me. Like I'm at the penitentiary, sitting on the wall talking to him because that's where I just happened to be walking when he called. Yeah. And I'm talking to him like, look, dude, these are your way out. Like you he was talking about like giving her money to leave so she could get a place of her own, because by that point her parents have already rejected her coming back with them. And her parents were probably like, we're sick of this, because I have a feeling like she has like a pattern of that.
Absolutely. So a lot of them do when it's like that.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So her parents were like, nah, and I'm like, okay. And so Mark's like, I make enough money, I'm just going to give her money to leave. I'm like, you could do that, but that won't help you. Yeah. Like you should advance you along this. And I'm like, dude, you either be straight up honest with her, like straight up, but you give her a deadline to move out. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, boom. Okay? And option 2 was that you do you, meaning that Mark is Mark. Mark's looking for new girls. He's meeting new people. He's going out on his own. He's taking care of his daughters, but like she has her world now. They're living under the same roof. This is the most awkward scenario, but he does him and he focuses on himself until he's congruent with thought and action, to the point where she now like knows to leave. Yeah. Like, because the environment and the energy that he has shifted in such a paradigm that it's unrelatable, because he has now become the person that he seeks to be. And that's a very nuanced, deep, layered take. But at the same time, this is exactly the things he should have been doing since his like divorce, which he hasn't been doing.
And how many years has he been divorced? Or
a while.
Right?
Like 5 years now.
Yeah, I mean, 4
or 5 years.
Yeah, because I mean, the last time I saw him was down over here at Prohibition, and he wasn't even in a relationship.
Oh yeah, and that's where he told us that really weird story
with
about the girl that he drives home. That
drives home.
Gives like BJ's to him, and he was like real proud of it. That it was like a younger girl he was driving home.
But it's just for the. It's simply a transaction. He gives a ride, she gives the BJ, and that's it. And we're like, wait, what?
Like that is
like you're getting letting yourself get used.
And I told him, I told him, I said,
job.
would you want a guy doing that to your to
your daughter? I remember
him.
that.
I said, I said, would you want someone doing that to your daughters? And he's like, he has whatever BS excuse. And I'm like, there's nothing cool, there's nothing manly about that. It's weird. Period. I'm like, it's weird and creepy. I don't know how else to like define it to him. But so that was a part of it. So yeah.
It's like the older guy that gets the high school girls alcohol. You know what I mean? And the one girl knows what she has to do, but that's the way it seems.
I'm just saying. If the high school kids are,
listen, somebody's got to buy them that alcohol. Yeah.
We're not totally knocking that point. I'm just I'm like, fuck.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Got me.
Look, this even shows you how straight up honest Dream Warriors is. Because, like, I'm even calling myself out.
Yeah.
Like during this story, you're trying to add to the story, and I'm checking you against
me.
No.
Yeah. You might be innocent, pal, but the rest of us here.
It's and so so part of that. So he finally shoots me this message. Like it was like now and it was way before even Thanksgiving. So like I said, like we went back and forth around Thor. Like we might have had a night and that got canceled, which was somewhat common with us, but we always rebounded from canceling, and that was always one of the rules. If we cancel, we rebound. Period.
So, okay. And that was a rule spoken about.
That was spoken about, and it was unspoken before it was spoken. Okay?
It was unspoken, but then it was spoken.
Yeah.
Before it was ever broke.
Because at this point, Norm and I started to fracture. So I would express my issues with Norm to Mark in a fashion that Mark would know what the protocols are.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, this is how Norm and I are now cracking and breaking apart on doing on the podcast level. Yes. Okay? And because Norm and I will always be friends, will always be loyal to like one another. I have no doubt about that. It just sucks sometimes how life puts you in a place, and sometimes that place is a separate universe than people you previously knew. Yeah. Okay. And it's
tough to accept. To be honest, because you
tough,
see it.
It's painful.
It is.
You know me. I'm very sentimental. I'm very much legacy based.
Very much.
I like lineage. I hate things changing. Like you're talking to a guy that prepared to move for over 3 months and ended up not moving as soon as the opportunity presented itself to stay.
Crack them boxes back open,
just
pal.
Like motherfucker.
Yeah, I know.
But no. But so.
But hating change, and I agree with you. Yeah. It's tough to
It is, and that's part of the human condition. That's one of my issues that I am constantly dealing with. It's almost like that's one of my complexes. That's one of my the worst parts of my psyche. Is that what you're like? Oh, really? Like being loyal is bad? I'm like, 100% loyal is bad because anything in moderation is good. Extremes are bad. Yes. I'm loyal to a extreme, and I see it, and dude, this is something that even to myself, I've been working on for a long time. Okay, and just like dealing with it, and it sucks because, sometimes those people like come back into my life, and it's like I don't really know how to deal with it sometimes now because I don't know if I should be moving on, should I not be moving on, like what is really happening here. I don't have a gauge for it. I really don't. Okay, but whatever. Yeah. So when Mark
and I can relate to that because I have a hard time. Well, I've felt before like it feels like the everything else is moving around you. You're staying still, and then you feel left isolated. Everything else. Like you said, like with Norm as an example, Norm moves on almost a separate universe from where you're at. Like you said, your loyalty still remains the same, but you're stuck without the positive all the pros of I think having him as a friend and this, that, and the third.
Yeah, I think like being regular and being carved into a stream, so to speak. There's a regular aspect to that you're like addicted to.
Yeah.
It's not so much of a dopamine drip, but there's some definitely like a chemical that like happens. I think this happens all the time and people don't identify it. And the way how it happens is like, you have friends that already have moved on since high school that potentially bought a house in the same neighborhood that they grew up in. Okay. And they're now in this thing and they're married to a woman that was close to them during their formative years, like middle school, high school. Like the kids now that they're raising are partially raised by both grandparents and extended family, friends of the mother. Like the girls that don't want to have babies are deeply attached to the kids, like stuff like that. Okay,
so it's weird,
and that complex, not self-aware, deeply embedded into now like a ritual that does only one thing. Okay, it carries on, and it doesn't raise you out of the depths. Meaning that even like as a father in that situation, your happiness. The gauge of your happiness is so much larger now because you have people to care for. Like you don't relate to me and vice versa. Okay, and this is something that just happens in life, and this is where the happiness of married couples is so different than everyone else because the way how they look at happiness and what's important to them, like we don't relate to. Even though like we can say like, hey, like I get raising kids, I get this and I get that. It's tough and sometimes it's unfair, but sometimes it's accurate when those people can't move out of a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they cease to challenge themselves.
But I tell you what, it's frustrating from an outsider standpoint.
Yeah.
That, in terms of like you said that different
that
whole different
watching
spectrum
friends,
that you're on.
Yeah, watching friends like move on. So I have a few friends now. Some of them I know are listening. It's like you shit or you get off the pot. And by that I mean if you're living with a girl, and if it's been multiple years, like more than 2, and you're not engaged and you're not getting married, then man up and know who you are at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially if you're later in life, man up and know who you are. When you're in a situation like that and you're not shitting while you're on the pot, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing the girl because the girl definitely wants that, despite what she tells you, because she might be telling you things that insecurity. Like I like not being married. I like that. I like that. I was like no. A girl that doesn't want a wedding, a day, a week, a month, all about her.
Yeah. Is
lying.
There's something wrong.
Is lying. Okay, but anyway, so that's part of the complex. So but real quick though. So getting back to Mark.
Yes.
Okay. So getting back to Mark. So he sends me this Infinity War text. At that point, so much time has passed. He ignored so many messages. My response to his Infinity War link to the trailer was Happy Thanksgiving.
Which, if you know Pete, that's the response you're expecting.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm so happy when I send that because I'm like, oh, it's consistent and funny now. Like now it's like
that's when
it's
that's
a gag.
The punchline. That's when
like,
it hits.
Now it's funny.
Now it's funny.
Like, because,
now it's when it becomes funny because now it's serious. Now it's real.
So at this point, exiting November going into December, I knew a few things I wanted to do with Dream Warriors.
Yeah,
I needed Norm to sign off on his likeness rights and the rights to the podcast. Okay. Which he's agreed to do. Okay. I need the same from Mark and these other people. I said, dude, like I'm gonna be using you throughout the next like years. Like your face for the thumbnail, your voice for the I need your likeness signed off.
Yeah.
So when I knew Mark wasn't coming back, I was like, yo, dude, like, can we talk?
Which doesn't mean that you own the likeness.
No, I have the right to use it like
to
this.
use the okay,
and that's it. Yeah, okay,
okay, yeah. I was making sure I wasn't.
I just want to make sure,
like
when it pops, because we know Dream Warriors is going to pop because it's the most lit podcast in Philadelphia. Hashtag lit. Hashtag lit. Okay, it's. I don't want these a-holes to knock on my door and be like, "Yo, what about me now?" It's like, no, little bitch, you didn't do any work for it.
Exactly,
you
don't
didn't
want
do
that
any work. You only showed up when it was convenient. You didn't fucking sweat it out with me. You didn't put skin in the game.
If you would have sweated it out, you would be involved in the. You know what I mean? You would be.
Yeah, and Mark is technically like a big blow because he brings so much more to the table than me. He's really like the perfect counterpart to me. Okay, but whatever, life goes on. And,
life goes on, yeah.
And I'm the one with the microphone and the RSS feed that's attached to iTunes and the multiple other distributions.
What?
SoundCloud? What? Google Play Music? What? Stitcher?
What?
Let me get a hell yeah if you got the podcast. Well, yeah. So at that point, like, I just sent him like messages and I'm like, look, can we talk about this? Can I get you to sign off? Can we like
and did he ever?
He never no responses.
Which.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I tried to call him like once or twice during the day, but I know it was at least 2 times. Okay, now here's the funny thing. At one time, I was like, okay, like if he doesn't, like even like normal, like during the business day, that's fine because I know things can go hurricane, they can go tornado, they can go, it's like Twister sometimes during the business day. I get that. He works in the cubicle calling people all day and he works like crazy long hours because it's like a volume game for him. So he's calling people on East Coast and West Coast and I get that. But when he was crybaby about his girlfriend and the kid and that whole situation, and he was here one day like crybabying to me about it, like face to face, okay, he was like, he goes on and on about how the two of them go back and forth during the business day fighting via text message.
Okay.
So now I'm like, oh. So I gave him the opportunity to respond to me during the business day as he would his ex-girlfriend. You know, me, a friend, business partner, confidant, all these things. You know, like if you made a composite of a guy friend that you wanted, if you wanted to make a guy friend in the lab, I would come out of the lab. I would be the one that came out of the lab.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to know about fitness? Talking. You want books and explaining yourself. You want self-help? Done. Relationship advice? Done. Because there's no type of relationship I have not been in or been through.
No.
There is none.
The funniest thing of that is that
and you've seen a lot of it.
A lot of it. Yeah. But the thing is too is. Even to point out my own flaws, like in terms of relationship advice.
I've never got no flaws. You're one sexy beast.
You know it.
Yeah, I just mean looking the microphone.
Yeah, look that microphone.
I think I got Dallas hair.
Well, I think you got me there.
Did I get you with that call?
Spritz me on that one.
It got right in.
It's all that dust. But no, but even so, just. Sorry, what were you saying? Oh no! I was going off about the fact that you got all this experience relationship wise, but still sometimes even with it right in front of you, you don't utilize the options that are available to you. Like I said, like me being younger, being you've been there, done that, and a lot of times that I've just kind of white knuckled it myself, not even. But I think that's a flaw of my own that I don't ask.
Look, there's. I'm old enough now to have multiple long-term relationships, and between those long-term relationships, each one was a dynamic opposite of itself. Meaning, just what the sketch of the relationship was, like the situation. Okay, and between those long-term relationships, and they're extremely long-term relationships. We're talking like 3 years, 5 years, and like 6, 7 years. Holy shit, okay.
Mikey,
and between that has been a windfall high frequency that is dull compared to my 2+ years now being single. The frequency and what I'm tapping into now being single, look, toot my own horn, I don't care. I'll do it. Like, whatever. It is of legend and dreams. Okay? Because, like, already Mark, like, Mark's more, like, around than ever. Like, Mark will detest to this, like, frequency, the regularity. Yeah.
And I've talked to him a little bit about it to confirm that.
The spontaneity of it, the ridiculousness of some of it.
There's,
okay?
Some craziness.
And it's nothing that I brag, because we were arguing about this. Mark and I were arguing about this because he's obsessed with it. I'm not. To me, this is the way of the wolf. Yeah. This is the way I live. Yeah. Okay, he's obsessed with it more than anything. But now, like, it kind of came up in a group of people. So now it's like these are things that I kind of like a little bit more comfortable now, like openly like addressing and approaching. Because before it's like, like whatever. Like I don't like the toughest guy in the dojo doesn't run around telling people he's the toughest guy.
Exactly.
You kind of know who the toughest guy is just by going to the dojo, and you're like, that's the one I don't want to spar with.
That's like with ladies. If you have to say you're classy, you're not classy.
Right, 100%. Yeah. So like a lot of this, like these like 2 years now, it has, and being in Philly and living this way.
Yeah.
And this is the way I have chosen to live, a way I have chosen to wire myself. And there's other reasons for it outside of just like this, and I'm talking the tip of the iceberg, like the extreme surface level of regular sex with kind of like whoever I want, wherever I want, however I want, like regular. Okay, that to me is the tip of the iceberg compared to everything underneath of it and what you gain from that once you hit that tip.
Yeah.
Okay, and people are like, what, like, WTF, like, what does any of that mean? Like, you're talking platitudes. I have to talk in platitudes. When you're there and you can see it and you know it and you experience it, you will know what I'm talking about. And that's as far as I'll ever, like maybe now, like as far as I'll go with that. And you're like, well, like who sees it? Like who sees this and who responds to it? The people that respond to it the most are the women. When the women see it and they're like, oh, this is like, had a girl here the other night. She's like, this is unbelievable. She's like, you're a complete home run, and you're freaking like normal, and you're great to hang out with.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's almost like great, like, and they're the ones most impressed because like, what do you have to do to court a girl? I say this all the time. You got to do two things: be normal, be funny.
Yeah.
That's how low your bar is to appeal to women.
Yeah.
That shows you how awful the rest of the field of men are in doing any of it, how bad they are in addressing things and talking about themselves and being considerate and being caring. And I'm 100%, like, like, I put people before me endlessly, okay? And what do I get from it? Most of the time, nothing. I only get a response to a Thanksgiving message. Okay, going back to Mark, like, I endlessly, Dream Warriors was forwarded and created because I sat down and did it with Norm, and I saw it as a way out for Norm because I really don't see much of happening with Norm through school.
Yeah,
even though he wants to become like a bondsman or whatever, like a bail,
yeah,
or something like that.
I don't know.
Okay,
yeah. Or maybe a bounty hunter, something like that.
Or the
U.S. Marshal, bonds, bail bonds. Oh, well, bail bonds.
Yeah, whatever. Like the two of those, or one of those that doesn't require a gun license. He's one of those, and I'm always confused.
That would probably be a
bailiff, maybe. No. A bailiff is in court.
A bailiff's in court. I'm thinking that he's a what's it called? Not a bail bondsman, but what's it called?
Like,
what did I just say? What did I just say?
What's the officer that finds people who skipped bail or checks up on the people? Yeah.
No, the person that I just said it 2 seconds ago. It was not a bounty hunter.
Yeah, but I don't,
because that's a person that if you jump bail, a bounty hunter will come and get you.
But there's a a name for that though. Whatever the name for that is, we'll just call him
like Midnight Run, like De Niro in Midnight Run.
It's a good reference,
right?
Dream Warriors. Pop in the good references.
Not only that, but you were also saying, that's a great movie.
That people completely forget.
But you were saying shit or get off the pot earlier. I wanted to say that.
Oh yeah. That was
Clerks,
my pace.
Good Clerks reference.
Oh,
that was your past stuff.
Okay.
That's my past saying it again. But.
Okay. I was just but look, and
like bring it back to Dream Warriors.
So like two things. So I had like a heart to heart with Norm, and I said, Norm, I said, you have to work with me to build a social media profile to get proficient in all of this, and to learn computers and be proficient in computers, because I don't understand anyone that is like 30 years old or nearing 30 that doesn't understand computers right now. If you're not a wizard on the computer and you're that old, like walk into the sun, because you are so far behind on something that you have to be an expert on, because guess what? It's not going to go away. Computers and social media are not going away. So
it's here to stay.
So Norm,
unfortunately.
Yeah, and Norm has a lot of this too is like me seeing stuff in Norm that he's afraid to acknowledge in himself, meaning that he is passionate. He does have a dream. He has these ideas. Norm is
a lot of potential.
A lot of potential.
I'll say that right out the bat.
And Norm is 100% more passionate about any of the movie stuff than me. I am jagged, cynical, angry, because I've seen so much by my point. Like there's I'm like Winston Churchill. There is no way for me to be other than realizing that there's one absolute, and that's like no resolve. Like no resolve. There's no surrender. Like it's like, and that's where I'm at with this stuff. And that's a part of the Dream Warriors lens. But as Mark and Norm, they would add these dynamics.
Yeah.
And it's interesting for me to bounce things off with that person. But with Norm, I was like, look, I said, complete your school. Like, don't do that. Pursue that. But you have to hit this stuff with me as hard as you can, because I know you're way more passionate about it than me. And we're already there, dude. Like, we're on, like the only reason why we got on iTunes as quickly as we did is because he said like I think like we have to be like he said it, and I'm like fine, like do you want that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then like a week later we were on iTunes. Nice. It's like the initial needle moved every time because of like to make it good for Norm.
Yeah.
And the thing
he is passionate about this stuff. I mean, just talking to him
about
the horror stuff alone. Yeah. You could dive in for hours with him, and the guy will just ramble, I could get lost in that conversation. I was trying to push.
I wanted Norm like right over there in front of the alcohol.
Okay.
I wanted Norm to sit down there.
Yeah.
And I wanted us to do a YouTube series called Beyond the Norm.
Oh, wow!
And Norm would
good title.
Norm would talk about these really obscure horror movies that he's into. Okay, and
that's a niche, right? That's a beautiful niche.
The only thing I told him, I said, dude, just because I'm going to be putting time into it, and this is before I became like very proficient in Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and Audition, where I could kind of like do whatever I wanted. Mm-hmm. Okay, I said, Norm, I'm going to be putting time into like learning to do things that I envision of how this should look. Like it's going to be a big time investment for me. Yeah. Okay, this is on top of working like full time and like all these other things. Okay,
yeah.
And I said, please just give me the confidence that we can execute by just giving me like a bullet point, a script of like how you want the episode to go.
Yeah.
And I said we were going to keep them short because like, again, easier for me.
Yes.
So, and I said like maybe like 3 to 5 minutes.
Less editing, less content.
Yeah, and I just said like,
and your audience will broaden with that too.
Well, yeah, it's good fodder for that. It's like they say it's attention span or whatever. Mm. So, but that's the whole thing. And I said, just like give me the confidence that we did this. When I make my time investment to make it happen, because again, we talked about this earlier. Everyone has an idea, but I think the people like Peter are the ones that can execute any idea. Mm-hmm. Okay, and my portfolio and work history speak of that. Mm-hmm. Everything from like comics now to YouTube to podcasts to running a design studio in Philadelphia. App launches, getting involved with the local tech community.
Local business launches as well, you've been involved with, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it goes on and on, on and on, on and on, okay? And I just said, look, I said, and he came and do that. And I'm like, dude, we have a great idea.
Which is a shame because it's not, with his knowledge, it would take him a minute and a half. Yeah, in the bathroom on the toilet, he could write a quick script, because first, let's face it, you're not bothered by, you don't have any, what's it called, sponsorship, so you don't have to worry about reads or anything like that. There's no, like, you can go into it with a very broad scope and just kind of knock it out of the park.
Yeah, like 100%. And it's just, I don't know, like, and that's where for me, like, where I would just get like a little bit frustrated. And there were times even with the podcast, I'm like, because he came in drunk one day. Every time we were supposed to, that was for like the Logan episode. That would have been episode 22 or 23. There were times when we were scheduled like for Saturdays and Sundays, and whenever we scheduled for early those days, he would like be out drinking. And then like we were supposed to record at 8:00, and he's coming in at 11. And there were like the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 episode is really what pushed me over the edge with Norm, because that episode, he has 0 point of view.
Yeah.
0 point of view. And he's not even like faking it. Meaning that if he just acknowledged if whatever, like I get it, like he's so cynical that his gripes on movies are like, they're just like, I don't take them very seriously, but I still want to hear them. Okay?
Yeah.
Because his gripes are very like highfalutin, they're blown up because they come from this lens of like, well, this happened in the plot on scene 3, and on scene 27 it contradicts, like, and it's like, like it's a freaking movie.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch the movie, or were you just looking for things?
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you're sitting there just taking notes the whole time, you're not watching the movie.
And that's a little bit of what the impression that I got from him.
Okay.
Was that it's like his points of views were nothing but negative. It was always negative. And I'm like, that. So I tried to push him a little bit, and I was like, dude, can you, like, to avoid what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I was like, can you supply notes and just, like, again, bullet pointing ideas? And this is on top of the things I'm doing for myself on my end of the episodes.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot, like, there's a lot of research. Like, when I go into a movie, there's a lot of research and thoughts that I line up. And sometimes I'll confirm things as I'm like sitting down when I'm doing my solo episodes. But usually, like I have like a sheet, and it'll be like, all right, like this is this position, this is that position. I want to go here, I want to go there. Like, and I give myself opportunities to kind of arrive at thoughts too. I said, Norm, I said, maybe you should try this because it helps me. And I think it can help you, and it's going to make the show better. And you can maybe like work out what you think are some of your thoughts.
Yeah.
So you can have your thoughts like personified. And there was such a pushback for him against that. Like, he couldn't do it. And I'm like, but Norm, like, I do this for like on me. I'm not just like picking on you.
Yeah.
And then like he went on.
To address that, the picking on thing, him and Kearns both always would say that about you, about the picking on thing. And I don't know what it was, maybe being raised in a certain dynamic.
Well, they're both single father.
They're both single father homes.
Or single mother homes.
I'm sorry, single mother homes.
Single mother homes.
My
they
mistake.
have estranged
fathers. Or
like fathers, and then they're not even close to their stepfathers.
Yes.
Like their stepfathers never. And this is.
And that's where I think.
There's a part of that complex. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that dynamic was intimidating. For them more so than me. More so than me because whenever they would say that, I would be like, well, he's not breaking your balls. He's trying to guide you in the right direction. He may have a certain way of doing it. He may have a edge about him at times, but really no more than anybody else. You know what I mean? I say that to just be to set myself up for defense.
You always said that prior to being in front of a microphone, and the thing is,
and prior to even being friends with you, I said that to them because I saw the dynamic, I saw the mentorship that you provided before we ever even really got involved.
Look, and part of it too is like, look, not to call things out, but like what happened when I like pulled away from them. Like from Norm and Kearns, they got into, I don't know, they became like dumb potheads.
Dumb potheads, yeah, burnouts. And listen, I got no problem with doing drugs,
whatever,
alcohol, whatever.
The zero aim, but look, some people can do it and they can be fine. That's
the thing. Can you still carry on your life?
Some people can't, because I've seen it destroy motivation in more than one person. Like young motivation, it destroys. I honest to God will say that I've seen pot destroy lives. I'm sorry. Like as much as people think it should be legalized and this and that, whatever. Can we argue that Pepsi has destroyed lives? 100%.
I would argue that the same way. I would argue television the same way. But you would argue that because physically no. But
I will counter with this: if chugging multiple Mountain Dews a day is blowing you up, you know not to drink it.
Exactly. Yeah, and
when you continue to drink it, that's what I'm talking about.
And I want to say this:
I have nothing against narcotics or illegal drugs.
Nothing.
But when
nothing
you
at all.
see yourself on the downward decline because of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Or referencing the other Mark earlier, when you're on the screen suck on your phone constantly, pull away and realize that it has nothing to do with the phone, but there's an addiction now that's being accessed, and there's a reason why you're susceptible to that addiction, and you have got to figure that out.
Yeah, you got to pick through them issues. And
you got
to dive deep.
Nobody wants to hear it.
No, absolutely not. And listen, I've been guilty myself of that. But the thing is,
we know.
we know that. Well, but that's the thing is because I hate to side with you on the marijuana thing destroying lives. But I want to say with Norm, if I can pick on him, no offense here, Norm. But
I'm not even sure he's ever going to listen to this.
That's true. But ever when he got with Jess, and he always drank and partied a little bit, but it was never a big pothead. And Jess
was total W trash girl from Nifty 50s.
Nifty 50s down in Blackwood.
Yeah, which I love that place. Are they still?
They closed. No, they're done.
They're closed but is there still one on the Black Horse Pike?
I think that one closed up too. The location's still there. I think that they closed. Yes, the golf course. Yeah, no, I think because they got an arcade on the side. No,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that they closed up.
That's sad because that was a solid establishment.
It was. They had a good.
I loved it.
It was, and it that's the best 50s type doo-wop place around here. Unfortunately,
dude, there's so many good nights there. Good nights, showing up late, showing up like like especially if you went to like the Stone Grill or like Adelphia's. And you live near there, and you would hit Nifty 50s on the way home.
After you're drunk,
be completely lit up.
Oh yeah, you eat that greasy food. You wake up tomorrow and you feel so much better.
I hate my life in so many different ways right now. But so like,
but that's the thing. He took. He took that road, and it was like seeing this guy go from full motivation, full like let's do it, do it, and then
I was watching Varsity Blues with a female that happened to meet Norm.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, I was watching it with Mark.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
Anyway, a female. Go ahead.
Mark from Dream Warriors episodes 71 and 72. But no, and we were watching Varsity Blues, and Tweeter, Sean Conn's, James Conn's son is in that. Sean Conn.
Yeah.
Okay, from Hawaii 5-0. Okay.
Yeah.
7 seasons deep. Like, shout out to Hawaii 5-0. I never watched it, but shout out to 7 seasons of Hawaii 5-0. He's tweetering that, and he's like this super fun, beer drinking, horny wide receiver. That everybody loves to be around, and he's the life of like every party, every room, every car that he's in. And I told Mark, because Mark's met Norm like a couple of times, I hung out with him. I said that is what Norm was before like these weird relationships he got in, and before he started smoking pot.
It was always the girls, pot, and I won't blame the pot, but I think that the pot was
I think it became issues a part of it. He's had with women. And insecurities with that, like real deep stuff, like super deep. And I think
because he wasn't incapable of getting women by any means. He had a good string at a certain point. He had decent confidence and stuff. It was like back. I mean, I'm thinking years ago, but he had a decent and way about him.
And he's like he was always like the life of the party. And I told Mark this. I said, it's like that. Like Sean Conn in Varsity Blues is what Norm was at one point. And he's like, what? Like he couldn't even fathom it because Norm right now is almost like he's sloth-like. He's a little bit like a sloth. He's just like slow. And even though like I listened back to some of the Dream Warrior episodes because I'm re-listening to all of them to put them up on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking notes now, re-listening to our earlier stuff, and I'm taking notes so I can have them in our description with like the timestamps and what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's so good at so many points in the earlier Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it, dude. Like, and like once, like, there's nothing wrong with once something gets traction and gets serious to put in the work. Like, there's, like, if you can't put in the work for something like horror movies you want to talk about and toys you want to discuss and trailers that come and movies you just saw and comic books, if you don't want to put work into talking about that and you can't do it, you can't put work into things
that you're not interested in.
Yeah, which would be like any other job you'll ever have, period.
Yeah.
So now you're just building a complex to be completely like miserable. And I see Mark, the other Mark, and I see Norm going down that path. And I've seen a lot of my friends go through that. Like, and they're in pain. They're suffering. And people are like, and I always, and look, it's only been very recently I've been very open about like tooting my own horn, like sucking my own okay? Yeah, blah, 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 okay? And there's only been that attitude in me very recently. Like, I would say since I've been single the last 2 years. And the reason why I approached that is because at that point I had to pull myself out of my life. Like have a astral body experience, like Doctor Strange or Insidious style. Wink, wink to Insidious. Shout out to Insidious, kids. Yeah. Is that I had to look at my life in such a way and be like, holy crap, I'm like single, living in Center City with a amazing place. I've transformed my body.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I was showing one of the girls yesterday. We were at Peddler's Coffee, maybe my new favorite coffee shop, on 21st. 21st.
Shout out to Peddlers.
Shout out to Peddlers, okay? And she knows Brian through Bad Eats because she watches the YouTube stuff. And I just mentioned to her that there's two pictures of Brian and I next to each other, like 8 years apart. One of them was at Jamie's. Okay. Jamie,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. So one was at Jamie's with him and I next to each other, and the other one is a screenshot I took of Bad Eats when him and I are next to each other. And there's such a difference.
Dude.
And she couldn't believe it. She's like, what are you she's like, can I see the picture? And I forgot like where the pictures were. So I found them there. I found one of them on Facebook. I said, look, here's the one from 8 years ago. And then I found the screenshot on Bad Eats because I think I did like a Facebook post of it. Okay. No, I did an Instagram post. So I found it on my phone, and then there's Facebook on my computer.
Yeah.
So I just like laptop or whatever. So I just put them together, and I'm like, here's the before and after. And Brian shrank, and I blew up and out. Yeah. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, I can't believe you were like that skinny, like this and that.
It's incredible with the stature. Yeah, how big your stature got.
And I said, look, this is like regular work. This is like how I operate. The fitness stuff is again, one phase of my 9 to 5 or my daily existence. It is one phase, period. What else do I add to that? I read a lot. Okay, I read endlessly. What else do I add to that? I add new revenue streams. What else do I add to that? I make new relationships at work. What else do I add to that? I'm constantly out in the city meeting new people endlessly. Like, dude, I can go on and on now about like the not only the fitness community of Philly, the tech community, some of the politicians. Like I know, like some of the police. Okay, I cancer research. Some of the doctors, med students.
You're getting
the four surrounding colleges I know intimately because I spent so much time there with younger college girls. These are the things. So when I talk about like tooting my own horn and like where I'm coming from and like what this direction is, it's either like you want to soak in the rays of the sun, or if you can't look into the sun because your eyes are going to get burnt, then don't and go. Okay, and it's really been like modern day single Peter that adopted that attitude. Yeah. But at the same time, like it came from like a lot of this pain I went through with Norm. A lot of this pain I even went through with like Mark and some of these like both Marks actually. Like someone like the assault with you. And like but the thing is like every time I backed off from like I feel like anytime I backed off from anyone, I don't know why. But disaster seemed to strike. And it's like fuck, it's like and not only that, there's every single like small business I left went under shortly after me leaving. Like even like remember how impenetrable Hall of Hero was?
Dude,
like Hall of Heroes was an empire when I left.
Yeah, it was a three store empire.
Four store, one kiosk, and one pizza shop.
Yeah. And booming at a time.
Booming with influence. Okay?
With influence, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, shambles. Okay, and that's
I got it.
What you got?
Real fast.
Oh, you got to pee?
Yeah.
Chris has got to pee. We're going to stop.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
We're okay. You know what? You're going to go because you know what? At one time, I would stop and be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. No. We're like 100 plus recordings. I know exactly what to do. So Chris is just going to go.
Yeah. And I will.
And we're 1 hour deep. I might just read some of X-Force number 4, my most influential comic that I just rediscovered because I remember buying this. X-Force number 4. It's a $1 issue. It's a sideways issue drawn by Rob Liefeld, inked by Rob Liefeld. It's actually colored by Brian Murray from the Supreme comic book phase, Supreme from Image Comics, a part of the Extreme Universe. And the timestamp for this is 1991. And this comic really, oh my God, the colors alone just fire my imagination. It captures me. Man, I don't want to say like endlessly, but I these panels and these pages I cannot look at enough. And this is also the premiere of Cable outside of his future gear, meaning that when Cable comes back through time, he's wearing like pads and pouches and giant shoulder pads, but he's wearing what he transported himself through time in. And X-Force number 4 is actually the premiere of Cable in a like almost like a biomech armor. And I was at one time I was disappointed in seeing this because I like Cable's look, but as of right now is the design for his metal like almost like a it's almost like a Bob Ringwood version of like future Bob Ringwood from Excalibur, the costume costume design from Excalibur, Dune, and Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman. But it's almost like if he designed a chrome silver uniform for Cable, it would be an X-Force 6. And this is buddied, I think, with Amazing or Spider-Man number 16 or 17, drawn by Todd McFarlane. And they're both sideways issues. But I love Cable's silver uniform and armor in this, and I hated it when I was younger. But what do you know when you're younger? So anyway, so Chris is back. Chris has been gone for 2 minutes.
I appreciate the break.
Yeah, 1991. Shout out to X-Force number 4.
X-Force, X.
Yeah, X. But yeah. So enough about that. I wanted us to talk about us and well.
Yes.
So you have your Dream Warriors update now. So real quick though. Like, this is definitely going to be an episode that fewer people are going to listen to just because of its nature. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, you seem to, I don't know, like you got bit by the bug. We did our initial recording. You seem to kind of be inspired at that point.
I am, yeah. I'm into it.
Like somewhat into it. Okay?
Very. I would say, yeah.
But this is too, like, this is like a lot. So the point I was getting at about like tooting your own horn and realizing who you are is that I'm able to like push this stuff further and do more with it when I take ownership of it.
Yeah.
And when I'm constantly thinking about other people and including other people, you are incentivized to take less ownership.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was
even less responsibility too. You feel less.
Yeah. And that's a lot of like where a lot of my heat came from that I gave to Norm and to Mark and so on and so forth, to where it was like there was like this fire, and I'm like F you, like if you don't want to do that, like why wouldn't you want to bust your butt to make a podcast that can grow into a giant audience? Why wouldn't you want to bust your butt and do everything to make that possible? Because what is funner than this?
Let me tell you, this podcasting, I love it.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. I mean, first of all, that's most of what I listen to. Like is podcasts.
Yeah,
I'm
here.
a big
always
listener of
listening to
podcasts.
Always.
It's even if you don't reach a big audience, even if you don't make anything of it, this was fun. This is enjoyable, and it's documented. You're creating something. And you're documenting what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's fun. I think
I'm sorry. I checked my phone. No. But the thing is, and the part of this podcast, as we spoke about this earlier, is it is documenting who we are and our lives. Anyone can talk about movies, TV, streaming, comics. Anyone can talk about those things. You want to connect with the people behind those opinions and those thoughts and those points of views. Period. So, Dream Warriors is synonymous with me. My DNA now is in these episodes. Okay, we're 100 plus episodes into recording. I never even fathomed we would do 20 or 50 or 75 or 100. Okay, even though we're at episode 73, this is I think the 105th or 6th recording. Okay, now actually
that's a lot. That's a heavy amount.
Actually, let me tell you. Let me tell you right now. I'm going to look it up.
We're looking things up.
I'm looking this shiz up. Because I don't even know. Okay? That's how productive we are. Look, this is... Oh, my God. I'm sorry. This is the 11th recording.
111? Oh, listen.
We're 111.
111. That's it.
Like, how crazy... So, I never thought, like, that would ever happen.
No.
So, but I took ownership of it. Meaning that I was recording...
That's a lot. That's 111 hours. Worst
case scenario is 111 hours.
Yeah.
Because so many episodes
some are more, some are less. As a median.
I would say like worst case scenario. Okay. But so I don't know, like me taking ownership, me realizing that I've done things. Meaning that like, okay, like I wanted to do a comic book at one time. Published comic book. Like I got that published. Where I wanted to work in comics. I did that. I wanted to like, I don't know, like make somewhat of a living designing things for people, graphic design, web design, did that. Like, like I wanted to live in Philly. We're here now. Like the list goes on and on in my eyes. I wanted to own a cat.
A gray and white cat.
A gray and white cat. And we got I wanted to be Eskimo Brothers with Chris.
Well,
done.
What kind of better brother than an Eskimo brother?
I think.
Wait. Can I say this? That we're Eskimo brothers, but Pete, I think heard and witnessed the entire action.
Yeah,
on my account.
I can confirm.
The one that we have confirmed. One confirmed kill.
I can confirm we're Eskimo brothers.
Yeah.
I know it. Like Chris wasn't lowballing that one.
No, he peeked in. He saw. He heard.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? You know how I told you like she didn't bring that up.
Yeah,
but she actually did end up bringing it out when we hung out here.
Okay, so what was said about it? If you don't mind me asking,
she goes. Well, I never wanted you to think I was a like slut over like that thing with Chris, and I'm like, no. That's as far as we went.
Okay, that was it. I'm like, no.
You want to go get some tacos? I think we had like a taco date that night. We were here and we like did whatever, and then we went to go. And like, that was her and I too were so hot and heavy, so hard, quick.
Let me tell you, she was a little spark plug. She was all right.
It literally felt like I was in high school. Like that's how much feelings her and I had for each other.
Oh wow! You mean
like we were that? And then it was like, it was so funny because it was like it got like real weird. And once you're on that wave, like. And I think it got weird from both of us. But like once you like that speed bump hit, I was kind of in like abundance anyway. And I was just like fine, like, and I kind of like literally at that point like blew her off and shut her out. And she was like, kind of like reaching out to me and texting me saying like, and I would just like ignore it or really like shut it out. But at the same time, it was my position was like, I don't think you're, because she was fresh out of this like other relationship, and I was like, I don't think you're ready to even like know where you are. And I'm like, I'm not your teacher. Like, I can't explain it to you. Like, maybe we'll come, like, cycle back to it.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's like, it took us a little bit. Like, we're like, you know, we cordially, like, text every now and again.
That's good.
And that's
nice.
it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with it being that. Like, it doesn't have to be deeper because I really don't think she's capable of, like, making herself happy. Nor, like, and then when you see that in someone, you know they can't make you happy.
No, absolutely.
Or their happiness will be through you, and you don't want that either because, like, that just builds resentment. Like, absolutely, it's like this whole thing. Look, it gets complex on the Dream Warriors podcast. Yeah, like this is almost like Pete's psychological view on everyone else, including himself. Episode. This is a psychological blitz. Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So we hit everybody else. Now on to the DeLucas. Yeah, like pretty much.
We hit everyone else. Now it's on to your ex.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Now. What do you miss about it? I love you. Before we sign off, I'll say I'll reference something from earlier. I'll say we missed the chickens.
Ah, the chickens.
I'm so happy I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, not no more. Hey Pete, you want to come fix my my cable?
Yeah, come over here, fix my computer, and grill for like 4 effing hours, and just like don't even have to do that anymore. We're done.
We enjoy the party now.
Okay, Dream Warrior 73. This is just a what I don't know what type of episode this even is. This is, I would say, you know what we can say. This is a contributor update episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
that's for sure. I think we definitely got into
next episode. We're talking about Robert Pattinson and Good Time. We're talking about that movie.
We're talking
because we watched it tonight. And don't say anything. We'll pick it up on 74. Rock and roll. Do you want to say any final words?
Yeah. Doc Watts.
Okay, I cut Chris off here. Hold on. Chris is plugging his IG. Doc Watt O, right?
DOC WATSO.
Doc
and Instagram and Christopher Watson on Facebook.
And we'll talk about this. Maybe we'll open a little bit of the next episode up with this, but we have like a content strategy idea for you.
Oh yes,
like Chris is going to be doing some very, very cool things on IG.
We can get into some of that in the next episode. And if
the help of myself,
with the help of Pete,
but no,
and maybe you might just learn a little bit more about this guy on the next episode.
No, I think we have to learn more about you because I think in your years,
the quarter that I put in,
I think there are Civil War veterans that had less experience by your age.
Less gonorrhea.
Like less everything.
Less everything.
But we're signing off. We're going to get into it. We're going to rock and roll. Everyone, you know where to find me. AKA Pad Twitter, AKA Pad IG, AKA Pad Snapchat, Peter A. DeLuca Facebook, AKA Pad.com, AKA Padsite.com.
Isn't your Instagram AKA Pad 13?
AKA Pad 13, yeah.
13, okay. Yeah. I heard AKA Pad, I didn't hear 13.
Yeah, whatever. We just do things. Yeah, I'm sure if you search AKA Pad.
Yeah, you'll find it.
But anyway, I'm out there. Talk to me. Speak to me. If you're a woman that favors the art of lingerie, and you got it, yeah.
Do we have a sponsor? Is this a lingerie sponsor? I feel like we're about to go into a read.
Yeah.
If you're a lovely young lady.
Yeah. If you're a girl that appreciates nights of ice cream, pizza, alcohol, and laughs, and Alf. If you want to hang out and watch Alf with me, just DM me. Slide into my DMs so we can slide into something more comfortable.
Boy.
Okay. Signing off. Chris says bye. I say hello, and we're